some reflections for this second Sunday of Easter. How are you, comes the question. I'm fine, just fine. How are you, comes the reply. Yet when we answer the question, we are anything but fine. We may feel upset, poorly, angry, unhappy, but we hide those feelings away. We tend to excuse ourselves and so exclude ourselves from those around us. There is a story of a doctor who is flying home from the US to Latin America. On the plane, he found himself sitting next to a woman from Peru. The woman told him how she was returning home with her mother, who had undergone 3 operations in the US. "Is your mother feeling better now?" he asked. "Oh yes," the woman replied. "She's completely cured. All her family will be at the airport to welcome her home." Then the woman asked him why he was going south. He told her he was a doctor and was going back to a missionary hospital run by nuns. On hearing this, her face changed dramatically. She leaned over, took him by the arm and whispered in an agonized voice, "Oh, doctor, Mother has not too long to live. There is no hope. Please, will you and the nuns pray for her?" Initially, the woman had hid her wounds away. But why? Why did she hide her mother's pain away? Surely she was not afraid of her feelings, for her wounds were caused by her love for her mum. It was only when she was sure of the listener's understanding and comfort did she drop her disguise, open her heart, bare her truth, and allow herself to touch and be touched. To begin with, she excused herself and so excluded herself. And what about dear old Thomas in our reading today? After the death of Jesus, he was gone. He disappeared with a whole storm of feelings raging within him. Feelings of grief, despair, doubt, disillusionment, and perhaps even anger caused him to just disappear. Now, by excusing himself, he excludes himself from Jesus' first appearance to his fellow disciples. Some time has now passed, some thinking done, and now Thomas is there for Jesus' next appearance. And I love Jesus' greeting to his friends. Not, "Where the heck were you when I needed you?" but rather 4 beautiful words. "Peace be with you." And it's the same the second time with Thomas. "Peace be with you." Immediately, Jesus shows Thomas his wounds. There's no condemnation from Jesus, no hint of Jesus making light of Thomas's internal wounds and struggles. Neither does he ridicule them or undermine them. Jesus does not parade his trophy cabinet of past healings, successes, raising Lazarus, and even raising from the tomb, for goodness sake. "Come on, Thomas, get with it." No. It was as if Jesus says, "We are both hurting. Here are my wounds, which I carry because of my love for you. And I know you carry your wounds because of your love for me." Jesus and Thomas meet where they are hurting. No disguise. Raw yet tender. So Jesus says, "Touch my wounds, Thomas. And as you do, know that your wounds of doubt, despair, and grief will be healed." It was by touching and being touched that Thomas was healed. This was something Jesus did throughout his earthly life. Those who excused themselves through prejudice, pride, envy, or ignorance excluded themselves. Those who were prepared to touch and be touched were transformed. I've always liked this quote. The human touch breaks in suddenly upon situations that otherwise would be totally inhuman. It is hard, it's so hard at the moment, having to keep our distance from one another, to stay indoors and only go out for those particular reasons. Our NHS staff who bring a healing and assuring touch to those who are suffering. How priceless is that touch? How powerful it is. How wonderful it is. Our essential workers in so many different areas, and particularly in our care homes. And how's the lady on the supermarket till, who was always so chatty, so friendly, so good? She and all her colleagues everywhere need just a big hug. It is not easy to open our hearts to trust. But Jesus comes amongst us and says, peace be with you. Show me and tell me where you are hurting, because I want you to be okay and to be able to move on. In the meantime, we seek to be open to one another, to listen, to hold them in our heart with a prayer that says, peace be with you. When this is all over, the human touch will reach out to you and the NHS, our essential workers, our supermarket staff with a big hug to say, thank you. It is so good to be with you again. In the meantime, keep well, keep safe, and God bless.